my beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Chiquis and Chill, your absolute favorite podcast in the whole wide world. And today is going to be an amazing episode, so get ready. And you're going to want to sit down for this one because we're going to set the story straight today. Okay, I have a special guest, someone that I've known for a very long time. She is a self-proclaimed queen of Spanglish media, entrepreneur. She is also a podcast host and a brand new mama and a mamacita. Her name is RaqC.
Hi. I like that intro. I was like, what else are you going to say?
A badass bitch.
Yeah.
Honestly, so we got to set the story straight because
we have to.
People, I don't know what's up.
People think we're like rival enemies.
Yeah. It was the last episode of Chiquis and RaqC or what?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
That's what it was. People think I left you hanging. People think I did dirty because I had to go handle some business when I was on traditional radio. Mm-hmm. And it just, production just kind of did what it did. And
that's
it was like, what?
Yeah.
We really kind of didn't have a lot of say-so in that show. Like we thought we did, but we kind of didn't.
Yes.
We were both new to the reality show.
I was definitely not an executive producer then. I was just a girl that was coming out of her mama's house, still lived in my mama's house.
Yeah.
And there was like girls. So basically, for those of you that don't know, I started my career off in reality. So it was Chiquis and RaqC, presented by Jenny Rivera, Chiquis and RaqC, okay? And RaqC was very well known. RaqC, you were on radio.
Yeah, I started my radio career fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
And then I got into a station back in the days called Latino 96.3 in 2005. Interviewed your mom's a few times, got a pretty buzz with her one time, like on air. She would never not come to the studio with a bottle of tequila.
That's my mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then when they presented this opportunity to work with Jenny's daughter, which was you, we literally, I don't think a lot of people understand that. We kind of were getting to know each other on the show as we were recording.
People thought, and we're going to be straight up because this was so many years ago. People thought we were friends before. We had met before.
Yes.
For the show, though. They're like, let's get two Latinas that are doing their thing so that they can inspire other Latinas. I was like, I want to be behind the cameras. I'm too shy. Like, I was nowhere near, like, I felt ready. You know what I mean? And
yeah, you were shy.
You were more marinated, more like you knew what you were doing. And that's why I was like, I want to, first of all, set the story straight, set the record straight, and then also let people know how and where everything started with me, because it had a lot to do with you, girl.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that because I was very shy. You
were super behind the scenes.
Very behind the
you were your mother's neck. Mm-hmm. Like without you, I don't know if your mom would have been able to build the empire that she built. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she was the singer and the performer, but as you know, as I know, that it takes a team to become
absolutely
who you are and to be successful and to build an empire. And so, yeah, I got to see you be that for your mom so many times. And it was like, wow, would your mom be who she was without you?
My mom said a lot of times that she wouldn't be able to do what she did if it wasn't for me. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot.
I'll toot it. I'll toot it for you. I actually saw you doing that. You know what I mean?
Did.
You were so behind the scenes, but if people wonder like why Chiquis gets to be successful in her own businesses now, it's because you kind of formulated all that for your mom. Her jean line, her skincare line. All the things.
Look at her.
Well, because I remember you doing it. All the
on the shows,
all the things that were coming up for her and were, oh my God, so much more would have came, right? Mm-hmm. Unless if that tragedy wouldn't have happened. But I don't know if people really give you the credit to how essential you were in your mom's life. And
I was very happy being there. I was being behind, the cameras and being behind the scenes. I loved it. I loved being her right hand, her right arm. And I love being with my siblings. So when this opportunity came, and my mom's manager at the time, who we're not going to necessarily name right now because, a lot of things happened there, but he brought up this opportunity for both of us. We knew him, and then we met, and we did this, and I was not ready. When we started, filming, I was like, okay, RaqC's cool. Like, we had a friendship in front of cameras, and then it really developed into a real friendship.
Yeah.
But a lot of things happened, and of course, producers had a lot to do with it. So a lot of things were reality, but cut in a way that made it seem worse than it really was, because I understood it. I was like, this is why we have RaqC as RaqC on RaqC and Chiquis, or Chiquis and RaqC, because she has to travel the world. This is her bread and butter. Because let me tell you guys, keep it real. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
We got paid $13,000, you guys, for the entire season.
Entire reality show.
And I'm going to tell you why I remember that. because people are like, oh my God, they made a lot of it. No, her bread and butter was radio.
Yeah.
And that's why she was like, okay, I gotta be there. But I told you guys I have this gig. So I'm not, she didn't leave me hanging. What happens was she had a commitment.
Yeah, I had to do a live broadcast in the Dominican Republic. And like, I made it really clear to production specifically.
You even invited me, actually. You said you want to come with me.
Yeah, specifically to the person that was executive producing the show. I had told him, I said, hey, I could do this show, but you have to remember that my radio gig is my main priority here.
Yeah.
But of course, I could, work around it and fit in a reality show taping, but work with me. Oh, yeah, we're going to work with you. And then it just seemed like as the show was developing, it was like, no, we need a shoot on this day. And I was like, well, I told you I had 11 parents this day. I told you I had to be on air this day. I told you I had to talk this day.
It is true.
And it just seemed like I was being put like obstacle after obstacle. And so that last episode, which I know y'all remember, we were supposed to be at a club, and I don't know what we were celebrating, but we were filming at a club in Hollywood.
Yes.
And it made it seem like you were waiting for me, and I never showed up because I wasn't even in town. I was in the
people got mad at her and everything. I was like, wait, that's not. Yeah,
and Chiquis knew where I was at. So it's not like I hated her or I left her hanging. I would never. Like, I am not that person.
Yeah.
But I am a person that has integrity when it comes to my work, and I communicated that to production.
You did.
And they went ahead and still shot the episode without me.
Yeah, and my mom knew, too, by the way. Yeah. She knew all of this, too, because people might think, oh, Jenny was mad at her. That's not the truth.
Jenny was not mad at me.
They were super cool, and I knew, but again, I was young. I didn't have a backbone. I was scared. I was like, okay, well, this is my first time. Like, this is what I got to do. They're telling me what to do. And that's just the truth of it. Like, now if I can go back and be like, well, wait a second. Now you can't do that to me. Now I'm like, I'm vocal.
And I got to say, like, to see your evolution 15 years ago to now, it's so beautiful to see it because you really didn't have a backbone back then.
I did.
Like, you really,
so much.
Even though you were like the backbone of the whole operation, you never
very timid.
Yeah, it's not like you did what you were told. Now you're just like, no.
I was seeking people's approval. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I for so long in my life, I carried myself that way until I woke up one day. I was like, hold the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hold the phone. I can't do this because, especially when my mom passed. After my mom passed, I was like, I gotta put on my big girl panties. Like I think that's when I was like, wait a second. Like, things have to change because my mom was my protector. She was the person that protected me, and I always just leaned on her. So it was kind of like God saying, girl, you need to step it up now. But back then, I'll say it straight up. No, I didn't have a backbone. I was just doing what the producers told me. And it was a reality show. But let me tell you guys that there were a lot of things that we had to reenact or that we had to say. It's just the truth. That's how it worked. I mean, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but reality shows
are not what they seem to be. Okay.
And
that's all reality shows.
Yeah, all reality shows. And I'm grateful. Trust me. I'm grateful because that opened up the doors for me. And yes, we made $13,000 for the entire season. I was like
balling, y'all.
Yeah, we were
balling.
And I remember the amount because I bought a boyfriend of mine that needed a car back then, a $6,000 car. And then I bought myself a Tempur-Pedic, right? Tempur-Pedic?
Yeah, Tempur-Pedic mattress.
I sure did. And that's where all my money went. And I'll never forget. And I was like, because I wanted to fucking Tempur-Pedic, $4,000. Freaking, I don't know what I was seeing, but anyways, people were like, oh, we became rich and famous. Like, no, it was a great opportunity.
It really was.
And I loved working with you, and I had a great time, and I learned a lot, and we experienced a lot because of the show. So that I'm grateful for. But yeah, going on red carpets. I remember us going on red carpets. I would hide behind her. I would hide behind RaqC. I was like, no, I don't want. She's like, you bitch, you better stop. And she's like, you better answer that question. She'd push me. She's like, you're answering it. And I'm like,
well, because the thing is this, it was Jenny that represents Chiquis and RaqC, right? You're Jenny's daughter. So the media, we already know how they are when it comes to the Rivera family. They're nosy, they prowl, So we were both the stars of the show, but they wanted to like ask you, like, how was it working with your mom? And how was it? So when we would be on red carpets, yes, they would talk to both of us, but they wanted to go to you first, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But then she wouldn't talk. So I was like, the voice for both of us, and I'm like, no, this bitch has to learn how to. And then you hated it.
Yeah,
that wasn't your thing because your mom was always the one that would speak. Yeah. She was always a mouthpiece. And then it just got to a point where I was like, they want to talk to you. Like, I'm just gonna be quiet, and you just realize like, okay, I was pushing you in my own kind strong way, right? Because like I'm a tough coach. Like when I mentor people, I'm a tough mentor because I feel like that's just the way you learn. Yo prefiero like tírate a la boca del león. Like that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Sink or swim. You either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how you started learning. You started learning your voice and I mean, but yeah, you ran the show behind the scenes. Do you remember the concert that we went to when your mom had a concert in Vegas? And we all, you probably don't remember. I don't remember when. So we were filming the show. Your mom had a concert in Vegas and you were doing everything. You were making sure like the merch money had been collected. You were making sure your mom got paid that night. You were feeding Johnny. He was like in the green room asleep. Really? I think he was like 8 years old. And then that night we were planning on going to the club in Hollywood. In Vegas. And we had set it up and then I was in the room waiting for you. And you're like, Rox, I'm not going to be able to go, man. Like, I have to take care. I think your mom was a little tipsy coming off of the stage. And, you know, Jenny would get tipsy at the concert.
Take care of her mom.
If you ever saw her at concert, she enjoyed her tequila. Yeah. And, but yeah, you were the one that was putting out fires all the time, you know? So that's why.
But it sounds like me. Yeah.
That's why when all this happened and I would hear the stuff you were getting accused of, I was like,
I know.
Like,
we weren't.
I was like an older sister that wanted to come to your defense, but there was so much going on that
was crazy.
I didn't want to talk to you at that point. It's just how do you even approach someone that their mom passes away? And what do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
it was a crazy time. Do
you like block a lot of that out? Because I could imagine that a lot of things blur.
Yes, right? a lot of it is a blur. A lot of 2013, 2014 is a blur, and I have selective memory because I'm just like now I'm like, wait a second, like like a lot of traumatic things I just kind of put to the side. I'm like, okay, in order for me to make it through this life, through the next I don't know how many years, I gotta just put that to the side. You know what I mean? But I mean that's crazy because that's the thing. It was. I don't know. Like we went to dinner the other night and I told her, I said, Rock, like, thank you so much. Like, I felt like we never stopped talking. And it wasn't that we stopped talking for any particular reason. It's just life happened. Yeah. And I think also I wouldn't even be upset with you if you were upset with like, dude, you guys left me hanging. Like in reality, you guys left me hanging. You guys left me looking bad on the reality show. And maybe I didn't have the voice to defend you or to say, wait, guys, it wasn't like that. Which is
I never really cared what people think of me.
Yeah, that's what I love about you.
Y'all can paint me in whatever you want to think of me in your head. I'm really not in the business of explaining myself or what happened, how it happened, or let me tell you what happened between me and Janae. Like, you can think what you want because I think people sometimes, because they're your follower or your fan, they feel so entitled to an explanation. Like, get into it, explícame todo. And it's just like,
and I've learned that I don't have to. If I want to tell you about certain things, great, but I don't have to.
Yes.
You know, and it took me a while to learn that as well, because at first I was like, no, what with everything that happened? But before we get into everything that happened, I do want to say that I'm grateful, you know what I mean? And I don't want to get emotional, but I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you taught me the ropes, that you were patient with me, that you're like, this is how you do it. And you taught me, and you were never celosa. You were always celebrating. You celebrate women. It's not just, this is what I'm saying and what I portray on social media. Like, she really walks the talk. Yeah. And I never felt that you were jealous or that you felt like, oh, that's Jenny's daughter, they're giving her a priority. Like, you were just like, I am who I am. I feel good. And if I had questions, you were there. Yeah. You never, like, I don't know. And that's something that I was like, I need people to know that you play a huge part in who I am today, because I learned a lot from you. So I wanted to like put that out there, you guys, because I'm grateful. And I can't say that I learned it all myself, or no, I had people like RaqC, of course, people like my mom. Yeah. But I felt the need to say that, you know.
Thank you. Your mom was so special too, man. Like, to be able to work with her and work with you was like, I remember, I remember a lot of things.
Yeah, you have a great memory.
And actually, I don't have a great memory. No? My sister has a better memory than me. But I remember on our way to the premiere that was at like this place in Hollywood.
Yes.
Our show was premiering, and it was like we were celebrating.
The room.
Yeah, and your mom would get into storytelling, and she was like, you know, RaqC, I remember this one time I was you performing in Mexico, and she would just tell me these stories, and she was another person that literally was one of one, and you're just like so honored and thankful that I worked with her and that I got to share space with her and stories and really see like she was a diva. You know, she was a diva in her own way, but like certain people I feel can get away with being divas because they're that dope. Yeah. And you're like, you know what?
Le quedaba.
Le quedaba. And to know that she sprinkled that in you and that, yeah, you might have been behind the scenes most of the time, but yeah, you're not anymore. And honestly, sometimes I think about it. I'm like, I wonder if Chiquis would be who she was if her mom was still here. You know, like she protected you a lot from the business.
She did.
And it's just like, you know, how would that be? Like, do you ever sit there and think about like, would I be who I am if my mom was not here? Like, would she support my career? Because we don't know. We don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think so. I feel like it's all God's divine plan. As you know, do I wish my mother was here? Absolutely. I wish she was here to see everything that I'm doing. But also, I do feel that my mom protected me so much that even if I wanted to sing or whatever, because she's like, okay, I'll support you if you want to sing, but that's not the career I want for you. If you want to, you maybe be an actress, but a singer, this shit is hard. This shit is very hard for women. And I don't want you to go through that. No tiene necesidad. Yeah. You know, and I think she would have just been like, I don't know. I think about it. And
I think about it too.
You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if she would have supported your singing career. I don't know if she would have been like, okay, like, am I cool with my daughter winning Latin Grammys? Like, is she gonna like, am I gonna support that dream, or is she gonna, in a way, become my competition? You know, it's
you just never,
because the thing is,
you never know.
And this goes for a lot of women that their mom had them at a young age. The relation, my mom and my sister, we talk about this all the time with the podcast. When my mom had my sister at 17. Your mom had you at 15.
Yes.
So that relationship, when a mom has their firstborn at such a young age, it's rock. And it's not just Jenny and Chiquis, y'all. It's my sister and my mom. It's a lot of women that may be watching this podcast that are like, yeah, that's me. And you know, I pray that y'all heal that relationship. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case in you know, with you and your mom, because she was got too early, you know? But my sister and my mom have definitely healed and talked it out. But that age gap, it's like you're growing up with your mom.
You're growing up.
That's tough.
My mom would always say, you didn't come with the manual. Like, I don't know what to do with you. And we were so close. We were sisters. We were everything to one another. For a long time, I mean, I did find myself growing resentment, you know, with my mom, or towards my mom when, you know, she left, you know, of course, because of how everything was left. I was like, what am I supposed to do now? Yeah, I'm just like, what am I? Yeah, and thank goodness, you know, I look back and I'm like, damn, we've made it this far. And just, I mean, and I'm not talking about success. I'm talking about just emotionally how we were able to get here. You know, all of my siblings and I, and I don't know. I mean,
but the way the media rained down on you, the hatred and the just, I mean, if you were not raised by a strong woman like your mom and God by your side, that could have destroyed anybody.
Absolutely.
The way people came down on you and my God, I would have disabled comments on social media. Sometimes I'm on your social media and looking at your comments, and I'm like that big sister that wants to come to the rescue for you. And like, sometimes have I or have I not? Sometimes maybe in my head I've typed something, but then I delete it. Because then I'll go, you know, because then I'll get people coming after me, which is okay. Y'all can come after me. I'll block everybody anyways. I'm the blocking line. Yeah, block, bye. But the way people were come at for you, I'm just like, wow, if y'all only knew how loyal of a daughter you were to your mom. And I don't know, people make their own conclusions, but it's, people don't know, you know?
I mean, you know me. We did a lot together, like everything that was being said, you know, and for those of you that may not know, that are new to the podcast, there was this rumor going around that I slept with my stepdad with my mom's husband, which is absolutely not true. And it was crazy, you guys. Thank goodness that is freaking in 2012.
Yeah.
We left it there, but at the end of the day, it's a part of, I guess, my story. Yeah, I guess, you know, it is. Whether I want to admit it, whether it sounds cute or not. I mean, the truth is, it's part of my story and how, you know, I had to just, the adversity and all the freaking hate. I really thought, I swear to you, Roxy, I thought that I was going to go to the grocery store and someone was just going to come and stab me. I swear to you, there were times where I was like, what am I doing?
You were that fearful? Yeah.
That they're going to come and stab me because these people are probably believing what is being said. That's why I went out of my way. I did interviews. I wrote books. I was like, I'm not going to allow the beautiful relationship that my mom and I had to be destroyed in that way with such an horrible lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm perfect, that this and that. No, but that's one thing I never would have done.
No.
I was, first of all, too scared of my mother. You know what I mean? And not only that, it's like, I respect women. I was so happy for my mom. Like, I just don't know. Now I'm starting to see certain things that maybe one day I'll talk about that I'm like, okay, this person was definitely behind it, you know? And it's like, they, you know,
that would definitely be me in my head. Like, who plants that nasty seed in my mom's head?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's people that you least expect that would stir the pot.
That
and you're just like,
expect.
what? Wow.
That you think love you and are supposed to keep the family together. And in reality, they're planting little seeds just so that they can have the position you had. A lot of people were jealous of what my mom and I had. It was my mom and I, like this, for everything.
Well, you remember that cover, you guys? Was it a cover for Latina magazine?
Yeah, for Latina.
It was like your mom and you, like bosses. And
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have that in my glam room. But that was one of the first things. That was in 2011. And people wanted that position. A certain person wanted that position that my mom and I had. So it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I know that God is going to little by little put everything in its place, and I'm not worried about it. And whoever chooses to believe that, honestly, I'm at a point where before I was like, I want to show you guys I'm not this person. I'm like, I was como desesperada. Ahora estoy como que sabes que yo sé quién soy. I know who I am. Think what you want to think. Like, I know who I am. And God wouldn't have brought me this far, and my mom, because I know she's, you know, my mom was moving puzzles and doing her thing up there, if that was true. You know what I mean? I
love seeing how in control of your life you are now, and how certain things that you like in private.
Yeah.
You're not out there explaining yourself. You're allowing people, like, you see it, you sense it, you feel it. More importantly. And I love that, because you're not out there explaining yourself to everybody. It's and you know what? You radiate that happiness. I love that you're happy in your relationship.
Yeah.
Like, you keep that private. You know what it's like. One day you just need to pop up Mary. Nobody needs to know where your ceremony is at. Only the real ones pull up, and it's like, you know what I'm saying?
And it's no one's business.
It's none of nobody's business.
For a long time, I did feel, and mind you, I do feel there are certain things that I share because I feel like that's part of my mission in the world, is through the things that I've been through. I want to help people grow and stuff like that. But there are certain things that now I'm like, I want to keep to myself. I'm a human being too. Yeah. I don't necessarily have to share everything with everyone. And I felt like I was obligated. Like, and it was an obligation because I'm an artist, because I'm on TV, because I have a podcast. Like, I have to share everything. There's certain things that I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep this to myself.
Yeah.
And if later on I want to talk about it, okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone is entitled to their privacy, and so am I. Even if I am, you know, a public figure, which there are ladies, I swear to you, and I don't know if this happens to you, but they'll come up to me and you know, I'm eating, I'm in the middle of a meal, literally.
First of all, that is so rude. Whenever you see a celebrity eating, and especially if it's in tacos and I'm eating cilantro and cebolla, do not come disturb me and ask me for a picture.
And they get so excited that they will. And see, I've never said no. One time I've said no to a picture, and I've said this.
If I'm eating, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
Can I swallow? Can I
swallow real quick?
Listen,
that's my mom. My mom was like that.
Come on.
But they'll tell me straight up, pues, tú quisiste ser artista, te tienes que tomar la foto. And I'm just like,
señora, por favor. Señora, listen, hasta que después de que mastique, por favor. Like, who does that?
Yeah. Before I was like, okay, well, now I'm like, okay, well, si me espero un momentito, you know, now I'll say it. I'm polite about it, but you know what? Now I'm like, no, I'm a human being too.
Yeah, and there's something beautiful about being mysterious. There's something beautiful about
it.
Right?
Sexy.
We're like not everybody knows everything. It's just,
that's what I love about Emilio, actually, my partner. He's not all like about social media. He posts once in a, and I tell him, babe, you got to post more for your like photography. And he's always busy, but I'm like, you'd be a lot busier. He's like, no, I'm good with as busy as I am. I was like, well, post more of your work. I want people to see how talented you are. But he's chill, and I love that. To me, it's so sexy.
Women like us,
selfies. I can't. Like, I can't.
Men that post selfies that they pucker their lips. Listen, I don't know about that.
Girl.
No.
Been there, done that.
Listen, a businessman that's about his business that ain't posting on social media. Matter of fact, I love a man that doesn't have social media.
Me too.
Because guess what? No one's going to go read. Because I'm sure that your fans and news channels, they all go look at his page and see if he's posting about you. Because
and they'll send him little things. People are mean. They'll send him like, oh, she used to call her ex this, or she this, and before it used to bother him. Now he's like, oh, he knows what he got.
He knows me. Yeah. He knows.
But that's why he's like, you know, but he's chill. He's chill.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I love that. And how do you feel about being a mama?
Girl, I love being a mom. Let me tell you, my daughter is a manifestation of my dream. I prayed about her. I visualized. Girl, remember when we used to do vision boards?
Yeah.
I was like, Chiquis and I are the OGs of vision boards, man. Remember when we were at the house making vision boards, and like I think we did an entire episode on vision board making.
You wanted to do conferences about vision boards. We still do that, girl.
Yeah. So when I tell you that the way my daughter looks, I brought my daughter, y'all, so she can see her.
She's so beautiful.
Tell me she don't get the doll.
She smells so good. I swear to you, I'm not even, está perfecta.
Literally.
She's so beautiful.
Her head is like perfectly brown.
Round. She smells delicious. Her little hands, she's talking. She's just like, wants to say all kinds. She's just so cute. Not like saying words, but I'm saying she's like.
She's babbling.
She's babbling.
Yeah. And listen, I'm so happy that I had a baby before you, because now, whenever you want to have a baby girl, I'm gonna be your coach. And like,
hell yeah.
You know what? My mom was actually telling me that she had a dream the other day that I should help women that feel helpless because this is the thing. Doctors, okay, a lot of women have PCOS and suffer from like infertility, and it's not as easy as it was getting pregnant these days as it was back in the 80s.
Absolutely.
Women back then, las tocabas estaban embarazadas, right? Women these days, they struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're doing like IVF and you know, what is it called? When you a surrogate, different things, right? So my mom goes, I feel that you should give, because I prepared my body, Chiquis, to get pregnant 2 years prior to getting pregnant. I legit prepared my body. It's like laying the foundation to like a house. I knew there were certain things that I had to do. I had a cyst on my ovaries, got rid of those naturally with herbs. And then I started seeing an herbologist. I started getting yoni steams. Remember I was telling you the other day at dinner? Yoni steams. If you don't know about yoni steams, listen, you need to start getting yoni and steam all up in the vagina.
Okay? Oh my gosh. When she told me about this, I was like, I need that.
Girl, and like it regulates your pH. And girl, if Emilio eats you up now, he's going to eat you up even more. Girl. Okay?
So I'm not going to be able to like rest.
We're cancers, okay? So we like sex. Nothing wrong with that. This is how we were all created.
Hell yeah.
But so yeah, then I started taking a fertility tea. I'm all about like sobadoras. I met a sobadora.
Yes.
She popped my uterus back into place. So when I tell you my daughter is a manifestation of my dreams, she is. I prayed for her. The way she looks now is, I'm like, this is how I knew she was going to look like this.
That's crazy.
Like,
I believe in that. Hell yeah.
Beautiful. And so I will say, sometimes I say, I wish I would have had kids younger, right? Like in my 20s, in my early 30s. But I'm thankful that I had her when I had her.
Yeah.
Because I'm patient.
Yes.
Like, I think a lot of times when young moms have kids at a young age, so this is spent, I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I'm not in a rush to, I've traveled a lot and I'm going to still travel.
Yeah.
We're going to El Salvador next month with her.
Nice.
You think I had a daughter to leave her behind?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, te la vas a llevar. Claro que sí. I didn't have a daughter to like leave her with the
at home. Yeah. I know that. And you're in a different place.
You're in a different place. You're more patient. You know the knowledge that I'm going to be able to pour into this little girl. Oh, and I'm like, I get to be your coach. I get to be your biggest influence in this life. Everyone's like, you didn't wish you had a boy? I'm like, nope. How can I teach a boy how to be amazing?
Yeah, I see. No, you're
I'm a girl mom.
You're a girl.
And when I have another one, I want another girl.
She's going to be, oh my God, I can already see. You're a great mom. I can already see, like, it's just, I don't know. I see you on social media, like everything you speak. And again, you don't just say shit. Like you're about it. You're about it. And in every way. So I can just imagine la mujer que va a ser.
Gracias. I'm so happy for you. I'm so honored that she picked me and that I picked her. But they say children pick their parents.
Yes.
You know, like so that's like that's
she's like spiritual stuff.
Her. And I'm like,
I nice boobies. I want those.
I know. They're all full of milk. Seriously, they're all.
You breastfeed too.
I breastfeed,
which I that's admirable. I love that.
I breastfeed her, so like breastfeeding just it checks you. You can't drink too much alcohol. You shouldn't be drinking no alcohol. Can't really smoke cannabis. Everybody knows I'm a cannabis enthusiast. You know that. I mean, I've been a cannabis.
I was going to ask you the other day.
I can't because I breastfeed, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like our parents were hippies and they were doing it too. And this is my thing. I'll get into the whole endocannabinoid system. That people, you don't want me to get started with that. But everybody has an endocannabinoid system in their body, and in reality, it helps your immune system when you consume the flower the right way.
The right way.
Like the CBD, the cannabinoids are actually super beneficial for the body, but people don't they only want to see the cannabis that gets you high.
Right.
And there's different, and it's not just that.
Oh my gosh. We need a whole episode on that because a lot, especially in our community, they don't understand that. They need to be educated. Nuestra gente Latina, especially the older generation, that cannabis is way better than drinking a Tylenol. Let me tell you guys. I always say this.
Oh my gosh.
When people found out, oh my God, that I smoke weed, right now I'm on a cleanse, on a very deep cleanse. But that when they found out that I did, you know, that I smoked cannabis, it was just like, oh my God, how could you? I'm like, wait a second. You know what's worse than I said this on another podcast.
First of all, it's legal in California.
It's legal in California.
And guess what else is legal? Drinking.
Oh,
does anybody get on you for drinking?
No.
Exactly.
And that's actually worse for
Well, alcoholism is a disease.
Yeah.
It's a disease.
It's a disease. And it's real, you guys.
It's real. It destroys family.
Yeah. And with cannabis, I feel like, okay, if I'm stressed out, I gotta sleep. I'd rather drink that than freaking a sleeping pill. That's personal. That was my personal choice.
Yep.
And I'm like, stress is worse. Tylenols are worse. So let me be, first of all. So we need to do a whole thing to educate people on the benefits.
I got you.
Oh my God.
I got you 100%. No.
You want to have more babies?
Yes.
We do?
I want one more.
One more? Oh.
I just want, you know what? I can't imagine my life. I can't imagine my life without my siblings.
Yeah.
Can you?
No.
So I'm like, yes.
Yeah, when you put it that way, yeah, no. Oh.
And a lot of women these days are like one and done. And I'm like, I get it because, you know, it ain't easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely worth it. But I cannot imagine my life without my sister and my brother because we're tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm so thankful that we're tight. And my parent, and I love that your mom instilled that in you too, is like, no, like your siblings are forever people.
She would always say, this is our little unit.
It is.
Little family.
It is. And my dad was very big on that when we were growing up. Like we would fight in the house and then we'd go out and be fake with our friends.
Yeah.
And he would literally, my dad would pull us by our sideburn, walk us in, all embarrassed. Like, Dad, this is like in front of our friends. And he's like, you're going to go inside. You're going to say sorry to your sister, your brother, and before you try to go be fake to the world. Yeah. And you know what I mean? I love that you're close with your siblings. So when I see my closest, so my siblings, I'm like, ¿cómo no le voy a dar otro o otra a mi niña?
Yeah. So at this
I need to get on it.
I know, girl.
I need to get on it. Okay.
Would you don't mind if it's a boy or girl? At this point, it's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like God's going to give me what's meant for me, but I definitely want another little girl.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, because like we're so girly.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Dressing them up. And I mean, I could teach a woman how to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Can I teach a boy? No.
Yeah. You know, that'd be, see? And see, I have always in my mind wanted a boy. And I think I've always like, I want to have a boy, but I've learned through therapy and through healing that the reason I've waited so long to have kids was because, of course, I was taking care of my siblings, but also
you
because
kind of have been a mom already.
Yeah, I've been a mom. I went through all of it especially with Johnny and Jenica.
Oh yeah, those are your babies.
Freaking mother, parent, whatever. All those, I did it all. I did the homework. I did it all. I mean, so. Johnny was more mine, I feel, than even my mom's at sometimes, you know?
I should see why you waited. It's understandable.
But also, I think I waited and I didn't want a girl because I was afraid of, my mom and I had such a beautiful relationship, but it was hard. You know what I mean? That I was like, oh, what if I have a girl and then we repeat things? I don't know. I thought so many negative things. And in reality, I'm like, wait a second. What if I do have a little girl and I can mend and help that relationship and heal that relationship because time didn't allow it, you know? So now I'm like, God, whatever you want me to have, whatever you want me to have, I'm going to accept it.
Yes. Yeah. But I could see you having a little girl and doing things completely different with your little girl.
Yes.
Because you know better.
I'm older.
You know what boundaries are now. I'm so proud of you that you know how to set boundaries in place with certain people.
A long ass time, but
but boundaries are super duper important and you understand that. So like when you know how to do it another way, you're going to do it a different way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, because believe it or not, girl, there's a lot of broken people raising broken humans.
Yeah.
They're emotionally broken. And I love that about you, that you encourage therapy. Every human watching this needs to go to therapy.
Yeah.
I've been going to therapy since I was 19. My parents got divorced when I was 15 and it affected me.
Yeah.
So when you talk about therapy, when anybody talks about therapy, I'm like, estás loco si no vas a terapia. At this point, you need to address all the issues. And listen, we all got issues.
Yeah, all of us. It doesn't have to be, I was, because I was sexually abused. Like, it could be anything and everything. And a lot of people, especially men in our culture, and people think, well, si voy you know, if I go to counseling, it's because something's wrong with me. And no, it's that we all need to bounce ideas, let our feelings out with someone that's not gonna, that we're gonna feel is gonna criticize or we're shy. It's someone that's just completely separated from your family, in my opinion. Yeah.
I love that you encourage your followers to go to therapy, because I do too.
Yeah.
Do it. Put your pride to the side and deal with it.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise that haunts you for the rest of your life, and you're never able to have quality relationships, a quality relationship with your siblings, with your parents, because you're just holding on to old shit.
Yes.
And it's like, they get this either.
Oh my God, exactly. I always tell you guys that you guys have to release. We have to release the baggage, and not there's no way that we're gonna be able to be our best selves if we're carrying old shit. Literally old shit.
Yes.
Well, Rock, thank you so much. I had a great freaking time.
So cute.
Oh, thanks so much.
It's so intimate in here. I love it. You guys have done a good job.
Thank you. I wanted something very warm, and I wanted something like acogedor that's gonna give you, like, you know, nice and quaint, gonna give you a little hug.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you flew that here. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you're here, and I got to go on your podcast. So tell us about your podcast.
So
and where can people find you?
Yeah. So our podcast, mine and my sister, is called Straight Up Sisters, the podcast.
I love the name.
It's my older sister and me. And so the older sister and baby is, the dynamic is real. Susie is 6 years older than me, and she thinks she's always right. Right? Because she's had more life experiences. We have a lot of opposing views on different things, but it's all love at the end of the day. Like, I'm not like, I hate you. I mean, we get into disagreements on the podcast, and that's
what makes a strong relationship, though.
Yeah. And so that's what it is. It's an older sister and a baby sister having a conversation on a set every day. And we talk our shit. But a lot of times Susie is right. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. Yeah. She's like 70-30, 70% of the time I'm right. Do you ever tell your siblings that?
No, I don't, but I should. Shit. Because I told you so.
Yeah, because a lot, you know, you guys have more life experience than the baby.
Yeah.
Like, you could guide Jenica because she's the baby, right? So it's fun. We had such a good time, and we're on all digital platforms. Straight Up Sisters, the podcast.
Yeah. Susie, I love you. I miss you, girl.
I know, she loves you too. She was so happy that I was coming today. She's like, tell her when she's gonna be on the podcast. And she's like, you know what? I know I'm gonna go there with her because she's the oldest, and I'm gonna ask her stuff that maybe people are afraid to ask her. And I'm like, and I'm sure she'll answer.
I will. Yeah. I will. So Susie, bring it on, baby girl. And your mom too. So I was with my mama that she gave me my first colonic.
Yeah. Oh, she did?
She did. Your mom gave me my first colonic way back in the day, girl.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell the people that colonics are not painful?
Colonics are not painful. They're a little uncomfortable. They could be a little uncomfortable, but they're not painful. They're not painful, and they're great for you. They're great for you.
Great. Yeah.
So it was because of her mom that I started like getting into it. So thanks, shout out to your mom.
I love.
Do you want to share your socials?
Yeah, my social is at RaqC's World. So the cool thing about RaqC's World and the way I spell my name is it's RAQ capital C.
Yes.
So nobody else has that name on planet Earth.
I love that. One of a kind.
One of one. Yeah. So it's RaqC, RAQ capital C, RaqC's World on everything.
On everything. Snapchat, you guys. Snapchat queen.
Yeah, I love Snapchat.
Yeah, I love Snapchat. You're really good at it. You're really good. Like, I'm like, I sit there and I watch. I'm like, I buy the stuff that she posts too. I take screenshots, and I'm like, oh girl, I gotta remember to buy this. So yeah, I follow her. So RaqC's World.
You have such a great backbone now.
Thank you. Thank God.
It's like you had no other choice. Huh?
I had no other choice. I had to put on my big girl panties. I was like, all right, cool. My mom ain't here. I gotta be the one to protect my siblings and I. So here I am. I'm doing my best.
You're doing so good. You're doing so good at that. I'm proud.
Thank you.
That's what older sisters do.
Yeah,
y'all got our backs forever.
Thank you so much. Thank you, RaqC. Te quiero mucho. I love you.
I'm so happy that we connected again.
I know. Thank goodness.
Never again. Don't never let go. Don't never let go. My thoughts are down.
I know. Thank you guys so much.
Bye, guys.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I will catch you on the next episode of Chiquis and Chill. This is a production of iHeartRadio and My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcasts and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.